Or this TV show.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Do You Remember This Movie? That sounded like something underneath the street. Whew. What are we... Hi, guys. Oh, sorry. I always forget. I almost just want to jump right into it, but I want to say hi.
Hi.
You guys are like my co-host. I'm giving myself the host title, by the way.
Oh, so we're your subordinates.
yeah. I'm the host. You're the co-host of this. No, we're all equals here, but you know who's not equals? People who live underneath the street, and I'd love for Cam to tell us about said people.
Now it's time for the synopsis with Cam. The synopsis with Cam.
In lieu of the synopsis with Cam this week, we're going to go to Cam's Poetry Corner.
Ooh.
The Poetry Corner with Cam.
The Poetry Corner with Cam.
Can we get a little little drum beat, little bongo beat going in the background? Can you guess how this movie ends? How could you ever see it coming? You never would have guessed it. Don't you feel silly now? Chuds. You're welcome,
awesome.
Everyone.
I didn't hear anything you said because I was just so concentrated on the beat, man. Roll it back. No, I'm just kidding. We have some names in this movie.
Yeah, let's find out who's in it.
Yes, in this movie, we have John Hurd. You heard? You heard? Yeah, you heard. But yeah, that was for Cam. I thought he'd like that one.
No. Two thumbs up, bud.
Thanks, Guy. John Hurd, he plays the role of George Cooper in this movie, but mostly known for being Paul in the movie Big. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Next up, we have Daniel Stern. Where have I heard both these names before? Anyways, he is AJ, or the Reverend. AJ the Reverend Shepherd. They just call him Reverend throughout the movie for the most part, but he's mostly known for being the internal monologue for Kevin Arnold in the wonderful show The Wonder Years. Allow myself to introduce myself. Anyways, next up, the most famous actor in this movie who has a 2-minute role, John Goodman. He plays Cop in Diner, and he makes some, awful jokes towards the waitress, and yeah, but he's mostly known
with a wonderful, wonderful voice.
He does. He's mostly known for being Fred in the Flintstones. Fred Flintstone. I mean, he's in a lot of things. I had to dig to see which one I remembered him the most from. He's never been in anything bigger than that, I don't think.
No sitcoms, no other movies. This might have been his top. Actually, I did look to see if this was one of his first movies, but he started his first movie in 81, and this came out in 84. So it was one of his first, I guess, but John Goodman, baby. I like how he looks exactly like he does in this movie now.
Yeah.
Like
now he does.
Yeah, he lost all that weight, and now he just looks identical to the beginning of his career.
It was probably some of that toxic waste from the movie.
It could have been. It could have been.
He got the good side of it, the good benefits.
There are a lot of other people in this movie. Obviously, it wasn't just 3 people in the entire movie, but those are the 3 that I really wanted to point out that I thought were the most important roles in this movie. And that's my cast. We're not going to worry about the crew because they didn't do anything else besides this.
Yeah, I looked up who the director was and saw that this is pretty much it.
This is it. He didn't even do Chud 2.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, there's a second one.
I think it's spoiler alert that they write what CHUD stands for on the movie poster. Can you guys see my mouse?
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I just noticed that.
Yeah. That's kind of spoiler alert.
What does the whole thing say there?
It says a recent article in New York newspaper reported there were large colonies of people living under the city. Mm-hmm. The paper was incorrect. What is living under this city is not human. Chud is under the city, and they're not staying down there anymore.
Awesome. So I just want to throw it out there. Cam picked this one. Cam, did you go see this in theaters back in '84?
Yeah. I was a very early zygote. No, I saw this. I think this was a pandemic watch for me.
You watched a lot of crazy movies during the pandemic.
Watched a lot of crazy movies in that time. I think that this show wouldn't exist without the pandemic.
For sure.
Yeah, this was one that it was the perfect late night watch, and I was enthralled with it, or by it, I guess. And that's mostly the Reverend's performance.
Yeah! Mr. Daniel Stern. Yeah.
Yeah. Killer performance.
Killer. Speaking of killer performance, I noticed the backdrop of that cover is that New York? Was this filmed after 2001? Bad joke. I'm sorry, guys. Or were they just growing over there? They were still.
Yeah, they were.
The towers were still growing.
Saplings.
They were still growing. Oh, you can cut that part out. We don't want to be canceled. Is it too soon? I don't know. I'll shut up. You got any clips or anything for us?
Yeah, we'll dive right in. Okay, so I love the opening of this movie because you don't know what kind of movie it is.
No.
And so I guess what you hope is that it's going to be like a Cinderella story, right? Which it is, because now the prince takes that shoe and tries to find the princess that fits it. All right.
Too bad never mind. A fun fact, Cam's fun fact for the day. That was Mr. AJ, the Reverend's real life wife.
Oh.
Yeah. She had a cameo of being murdered immediately.
I did read that.
Yeah, the strings you can pull when you're big money famous like that.
Pulling those chud strings. All right, so I just thought it was weird. Like I get the connection between the photographer and this lady, but it's weird that he's again taking pictures without her knowing from his apartment. I don't know. It just feels weird to me.
Is that weird?
So
hi, you've reached the new residence of.
And by the way, this is just a personal take here. If you don't want somebody to leave you a message, why do you have to punish them with a super long outgoing message? I get it. You don't want me to leave a message. Anyway, just listen how long this is.
George Cooper and Lauren Daniels. We will spare you the agony of a cute little message. However, if you'd like to leave one, wait for the beep.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that beep did take a minute.
Hi, Derek.
Okay, and then I think he forgets that he's talking to. He's not really talking to him. This is all still.
All right, Derek.
Back in the day, there was a thing called an answering machine.
Cam, have you heard of these?
This machine always reminds me of my great grandma, who she still had a rotary phone on the wall, but also had an answering machine, and she would do the same thing. But I think there was a few other factors going on there.
I'll be honest. I talk to my voicemails.
How dare you say that?
I feel like I made this clip too long just to show some stupid stuff here, but okay, they just moved in, right? So his significant other has to keep running down to the basement to get other things that they haven't brought up yet. So why does he have to take this picture down?
Tomorrow.
Like they just moved there. It's not like, right? Anyway, and then what picture he puts up is the woman that he was just taking pictures of outside his window.
Waiting for a story about a bunch of subterranean bums.
That's
Just give
weird.
me any pictures. I don't care
Yeah.
what they are. What do
His
you think?
whole like,
Derek,
what is
you
his
made your
actual career?
Yeah, he's like a photographer. He's like the Vicky Vale of this.
Yeah.
He just got back from Cartel Maltese.
Do you think he just like changes the pictures up every other day?
He's got so many.
Every time somebody leaves a voicemail, he takes a picture up and puts it up, takes it down, puts one up.
Trent, I think this is a scene from The Dark Backward.
There were some vibes at some points.
All right, so I wanted to show this scene here, just for a couple of reasons. Corey kind of mentioned, we have a new. I'll wait till we show you. We have a new sponsor.
Woo!
And now a word.
New Tropicana Chuggers, 100% pure refreshment, all natural orange or apple or grapefruit juice. Chug one down.
What if it said Tropicana Chudders?
Nice.
Mismarketing. Wouldn't it be nice to chug a chugger is going to be my new catchphrase.
Chugger.
Yeah, I don't know how that ad campaign didn't last past 1982.
Yeah, because the chuggers they're no longer. They're Tropicana. Is that how you say it? Tropicana?
Yeah, Tropicana.
They're still a brand.
Yeah.
But Chuggers aren't. Chuggers was a failed experiment. Maybe because they were in this movie.
Or maybe it was like a bad divorce and that was the surname.
Yeah.
All right, I just wanted to show we kind of made fun of the orange juice commercial here, but I don't know if you guys notice who this actress is. I mean, it's not cast and crew with Trent, but it's Anna Paquin as Brenda Warner from the movie.
I'm like, what are you talking about? Okay.
There we go.
I think it's Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle.
And so that manhole cover was just gone?
Yeah, they can't fall down the hole. That's the whole thing. Come on. Come on, movie.
Hey, and then Corey, who is this guy?
What, the cop guy?
The crazy guy who says a bunch of things that never ever happen.
Is that Hayes?
Gog. And Magog.
I was trying to figure out which guy that is, but I don't know his name. I'm awful at this game.
Val, I understand you used
Oh, that's
to
Val.
Val.
Graham Beckel. Yeah, Graham Beckel.
What made you change your mind?
Great
On each
actor.
side of the throne, there are 4 living creatures filled with eyes in front and behind.
But they don't have eyes in the behind their heads or
Talking about your
anything.
friends?
You know,
They still down there?
I mean, Trent, you'd probably remember him from being the LA bartender and leaving Las Vegas.
I know your work. You go by the name of being alive, and you are dead.
This is where, as a police officer, you regret coming down here.
100% you're why you like him down here.
Okay, and then this line, he says this a lot.
Power to shut the sky.
I thought it was a rubber knife for a second.
They have the power to shut the sky?
To shut the sky.
They don't, though. What is he talking about?
I don't think they really have a whole lot of power in the first place.
No.
They're just
pretty bad
scary
monsters.
Yeah, they're just scary monsters underneath the
Cops
streets.
are going nuts trying to figure out why a bag lady wants a handgun.
At least he's got sleeves now. Jeez.
Okay, so Corey brought up this phone number. So what I was thinking is that, should we call it?
Dude, I was looking around. I was trying to figure out area codes.
Should we call it?
Right now, live?
Yeah.
On the air?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, dude. What area code are
on
you
the
using?
air?
I'm going to use the Manhattan. Is that, do you think?
Okay.
Yeah, Midtown.
Let's see who answers.
Oh, it's ringing.
You gotta let them know where we got the number from.
Where are we getting a ride to?
Yeah, I'm going to ask for a cab. Cab 229 to Chud Town.
One-way ticket to Chud Town.
This mailbox is not currently accepting messages. Voicemail has not yet been activated. Please try your call again later.
I will.
De correo no acepta mensajes actualmente. Porque el correo...
I can't wait until like 3 a.m. when they call you back.
Who is this?
You're gonna just be like, I'm looking for a ride.
I need a one-way ticket to Chud Town, baby.
But it is, you can tell it's over like another.
Yeah,
logo.
so they wanted you to know that number. All right. I just wanted to show
my first thing. Sorry about the number. Going back to the number because I love the number. It wasn't 555, so that was my first, surprise by it. And then I paused it and I started looking up area codes too. And I'm like, I thought I had the same idea of possibly calling it, but you took it one step further, and that's why I'm gonna let you be the actual host now of the show. Congratulations, you've been promoted.
I just wish they would have answered,
dude. Post-production, have him answer.
I just want to show. So dude's gonna make a phone call. This other guy. It's just such a weird scene. But it reminds you. Make sure you frequently visit the dentist.
Do you think that was a nickel or a quarter?
I'm gonna guess a quarter. And he if you thought it was uncomfortable going down, but I also wanted to point out that they wrote our names on the phone.
I noticed that. Yeah, I think what happened. So later in the day, this guy goes and he's like at the supermarket and he's buying himself a nice soda and a candy bar, and they're like, "Your total is going to be, $4.25." He's like, "Oh crap! I only got $4. Shouldn't have ate that quarter." You got a restroom?
And a sieve.
Man, when he goes through the metal detector at the airport,
it's still there.
They're gonna have a time. All right. All right. I really I like this scene. So before we get into it, I'm gonna make sure my volume's up. Okay, here we go. I like this scene a lot. Just listen close.
Hey, what the hell's going on here?
Something strange in your neighborhood. Who you gonna call? Chudbusters. There's something weird and it don't look good. Who you gonna call? Chudbusters.
Amazing.
Trent, do you have the line later in the movie where it's like, what are you, crazy? This guy's armed with a camera. My guy's armed with a flamethrower.
I know, that was right before that scene.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. That was a good line. This probably won't fly as well. Let's just watch this.
You the one who found it?
Oh, Corey said that this is Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
it's
you know
not?
what's weird? They're asking. Okay, so they're like, "You're the one who called this in. Where is it?" Watch this. The guy mouths something, so they must have not captured his audio and not brought him back to dub it in. Yeah, he just did one of these.
It was ba-ba-dee-da-dee.
Chudbusters.
My God, it's his wife.
Okay, he's right there.
My God, it's his wife. Can you? Oh, gross. Disgusting. Dude, the zoom in on that is so good.
All right, let that image soak in for a minute there, sir.
Get him soak in.
Come on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bosh, come on.
Come on, Bosh.
Come on, dude.
You get over it.
Yeah,
right?
come on.
It's past 5.
They haven't even found the rest of her, man.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Come
I
on.
don't know. Did you guys? I guess maybe I thought this was such a crazy reveal because I remember watching this movie. I probably watched it in the 90s. I haven't watched it since, but I didn't put the 2 and 2 together. So maybe I'm just dumb. But
She just went back to college.
won't have to pay for that anymore.
She always wanted to teach.
So dumb.
Used to stay up half the night.
She won't be doing that anymore.
Studying.
Stupid.
She'd go out and walk the dog.
So it's his wife at the beginning with the
Oh,
dog.
that's funny. Yeah. Yeah.
So his wife in this movie is the actual wife
of Daniel
the
Stern.
Reverend.
Yeah, they're up the Reverend. Yeah. Wild. He doesn't look too distraught, I'll be honest. I mean, maybe a little bit, but
The mustache helps hide it.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, here's our
There
guy.
he is. There's the richest guy in this entire cast, the most successful guy. And I'm talking about.
He was on Cheers for like 6 years.
Well, yeah, true.
Oh, you're talking about John Goodman?
The other guy, yeah. Not his name is Jay Thomas.
What'll it be, boys?
We had cheeseburger and a Coke. Same here.
His accent.
Coming up.
Doing a terrible, yeah.
What are you looking
fun
at?
fact of Cam's fun fact number 2. Did you know that John Goodman is the voice of St. Louis International Airport?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
There we go.
Bet you heard it before.
Is there a
too.
reason for it?
He's from there. And he's got a great voice.
Is he doing the accent voice?
Yeah, he does. He does the New York accent.
He does the New York accent from the St. Louis airport.
Hey, welcome to freaking St. Louis.
Okay, this is another scene where okay, just watch it. This is just watch. I just thought there's something kind of funny here.
Gun violence isn't funny, Trent. I'm leaving.
You killed my brother.
Prepare to die.
Okay, and then he just comes in. The Reverend just comes in and just shoves her over, and they never do anything else with her. So her just being shoved over, she's just done. She's just out of the picture. She's now disarmed. She's not a threat anymore.
She was one more, shove away from just being
She had
done.
one more clip of health on her health
Yeah,
meter,
exactly.
One more bar.
Well, and is she even... She's in one earlier scene, right?
Yeah.
And that's
She's
it.
in like 40 earlier scenes. That's the.
Oh, she is? Oh,
that's-
that's the main... Yeah, that's the main chud.
Yeah. I do want to say so as Corey brought it up, I don't want to steal Corey's thunder. Is that this is the first time our 2 major players in the Home Alone series meet up, right? So
I was just going to say, I think this is, like they meet up here and then eventually the Home Alone dad ends up going his separate ways and Marv doesn't like that. And Marv starts stalking the Home Alone dad and figures out he moved to Chicago and befriends this other guy and they become the Wet Bandits. And then eventually they end up back in New York. But you know the whole story. You know how it goes.
You Cooper? Yeah. You all right? Who are you? We're in the soup kitchen.
On Kenmare.
Yeah, right. Man, this is crazy. Come on.
I hate that soup kitchen.
You have terrible
Yeah, terrible service and overpriced.
So earlier in the movie, you can't really help. You can't help but notice that this guy has swords all over his apartment, right? And then it's like it was noticeable. It's like, what are you gonna do with these swords? Oh, good thing he had them.
That position.
Yeah.
I just assumed the director was like, no. You're. I don't know why he talks like that, but no. You're holding the sword all wrong. You gotta hold it out like this.
Well, and I maybe I was just misjudging here. Maybe they're her swords. That's why she knows how to use it. But she's holding it like a baseball bat, like Babe Ruth, which John Goodman was also in. The scene's too long. Walls in this apartment are paper thin. No eyes on the back of his head.
Well, the other guy had to spin a good tale, you know?
Yeah.
I love how the head, like, extended to be like, cut my head off. Cut my head off. You know, like, it was fine. There was no neck to cut before.
Like, it's like, I'm making myself more vulnerable.
Long neck. Bites his leg. And the double A's ran out. This psychopath.
So here's
this last scene.
Here's the end scene. I love this scene.
Just watch all the
And it's gonna go into the manhole.
Explode!
Why would it explode?
Why?
Well, I always thought because they were trying to pump gas in there earlier to blow everyone up.
Okay.
I don't know. That's
I'll give you that, but
and then the friction of the tire.
Yeah, it causes spark.
Yeah, I get it.
And also the entire New York subway and sewer system was filled with gas in like 15 minutes.
So the friction of the tire from the road going into the manhole.
I don't know, wouldn't the gun set it off?
But it would have, once it set it off when it hit with the windshield.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah.
Or maybe
I think they needed one last bang.
Or maybe the previous driver left his glass of fire just like on the floorboards, and then when it hit the manhole there, it tipped over, and that's what happened. Right?
They so much money by not having to pay John Goodman too much to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Also, my murder weapon of choice is definitely ice cream truck.
It's very twisted metal of you.
So, and then I don't know if you guys caught this. I think this is a mistake. Okay, so.
Nice shot.
So Bosch says, "Nice shot," because that's like a real like action hero thing to say, right?
Yeah.
But check this out.
Bosch.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It's the same scene. It's the same thing with a different voice this time. And it's like, you just said that.
Yeah, like, just to make sure you heard me, I want to tell you again.
Listen,
Nice
man.
shot.
Listen, man. Let's put all the cards on the table. I need to be perfectly honest with you. I thought that shot you just took was kind of nice. That's just what I think.
Not only did you shoot me, you got the van to explode.
Oh no, you didn't shoot him.
You shoot him. Shoot your enemy.
That's right. Dude, I was getting a lot of these characters mixed up during the movie.
We'll see if it's in the clip. Keep going.
Oh, I say
he's still got his freaking gun in his camp.
Oh, good catch.
Yeah.
Good catch.
Nice shot, brother.
Because Reverend pulled it out.
I wonder what you used.
You know, I have multiple guns in my pants.
And I never wear a holster. I just tuck them down, facing my wiener.
You know what? Dig further in my pants. You'll find like 70, 75 guns in there. By the way, nice shot.
Anyway, gonna die now, but by the way.
So that was Chud.
That was Chud. Chud.
What does Chud actually stand for? Also,
what does it say there?
Cannibal. Was it cannibal? Cannibalistic humanoid underground dweller. Right, but they say it in the movie that it means something else.
Yeah,
that isn't what they say in the movie, is it? They say
it's the contaminated.
Yes.
I should have had this pulled up.
It'll say right across the screen.
Yeah, there we go. It's a very bad. What do you call that? Anagram.
Anagram. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the contaminated something urban dump, or I don't know.
Yeah, and it's like, well, okay, there's still cannibals though, so you know what? We can take whatever definition we want here. There's still cannibals. I do have a question about the when you become a chud though. So what was the guy? Victor was his name? That becomes a chud. Right. You know, I showed that scene.
Oh, the brother, yeah.
Yeah. So he becomes a chud because of the gas or because he was bitten by a chud?
Yeah, well, that's a slow transformation, isn't it? Like he's just like ambiguously sick, and the lady keeps taking care of him, and he just gets more and more groany.
Yeah, so
that seems. I think it's the number of groans. Once you hit 150 groans, you become a chud.
So I guess once they all leave the underground area, then there's really only going to be the 10 or 11 chuds that they mentioned earlier in the movie from the 10 or 11 people that were missing. Because they're I mean like you wouldn't think that people would just continue to become chuds.
Yeah, you'd probably just find like a different shelter. Also, that's another funny thing in the movies. The Reverend has like a shelter in a soup kitchen like set up. And they're still like, nah, I want to live in the sewer.
Yeah.
You know, it's just nicer down there.
Well, and then also, like, the poster here, it says that they're not human anymore. So if they're not human anymore...
Then it's not cannibalistic.
Very good.
Exactly.
But and also, like, why didn't that one chud eat the little girl? Are they going to just let her get bigger? Like, is that just a waste? That's like putting a fish back because it's too small?
Yeah, that or this already had an R rating, didn't it? Yeah, right there on the poster. Well, eating kids, maybe not something you show in your movie. Maybe that's the line they draw.
This movie has been referenced in so many like different TV shows and other movies.
Yeah, Simpsons.
A lot of Simpsons. Yeah.
What's the Rick and Morty one? The chuddly ho ho ho.
Well, you always see it as like on the marquee. So there was another 80s movie called Fast Forward that had Chud on the marquee. There's a lot of references to this movie. It's a cult following.
It was a reference in my The Flash. Cisco refers to people as being chuds, like being a chud.
Maybe we go into our final thoughts here with, but sure. I'll say that what's interesting about this movie is that the premise of it is pretty thought out. Like this is one of the only movies where you have like you kind of have the three different characters, right? You have Bosch, you have the reporter, Cooper, or not the reporter. He's not a reporter. Sorry, the photographer. Cooper,
the voyeurist.
So you have Cooper, and then you have the Reverend, right? So you have these three people, and they actually have a reason to be connected, right? And they didn't like just buddy up to conquer the bad guy or vanquish the bad guys. They kind of like Cooper and then the cop really don't have a lot of interaction, right? Like, so there's kind of it's really well thought out, and I think the character development is actually well developed. Right, that's not a photographer reference there, a pun, right? But so I think they did really well with this movie. It's just that the monsters are just stupid. So that's my thought, is that like the whole idea, like the screenplay of this is fascinating. It's wonderful. It's far up the scale, especially considering the movies that we watch. But then the execution of like it's just so silly.
And then also it's still paired with amazing character performances by the actors.
Yeah,
they go into the sewers and try to research the Chuds. But they're giving it their all. It's really, yeah.
And they have some good one-liners in this movie, like the bag lady in the beginning, when she gets arrested for stealing the gun from a cop, and then when they're giving back her purse, they're like, here's your stuff back. She's like, how do I know you didn't take something? And they're like, how do we know that you didn't give us something? And that's like, wow, that's a good line, So I guess if I have to give my score, I'm gonna give it a 6, but it could have been higher if they had better monsters, and if the monsters weren't just stupidly sneaking up on people.
This I think it's a good score. I do, and I respect that score tonight. This was referenced in there's a couple of funny ones I thought, not funny, but a few that stick out to me. But in the South Park, it's referenced in season 1. The doctor describes a chud to Mr. Garrison and says, if the surgery goes wrong, you'll look like a chud. It's mentioned in Donnie Darko, where Donnie insults a guy named Jim Cunningham by calling him a chud. In the movie The Ring, with Samara. When she's finding the videotape of The Ring, you can see this movie on the shelf with it. A couple of them that pointed out to me. That pointed out to me. Whatever, I can't even talk. I give it a 5. There you go. I give this a 5. I think it's worth the watch. I would recommend it to people who like B-rated horror films. Cam, have you ever seen the second one?
Bud the Chud.
Bud the Chud. Chud 2, Bud the Chud. Would you?
I'd be down to watch it. Didn't it come out like way later?
1989, so just a few years
not that
later.
long,
Yeah. I was going to ask another question. Should they remake it? Like, do you think it would be good if they remade this movie?
With like a CGI Chud? No.
Yeah, you're probably right. Let's say no CGI, all practical effects.
And John Goodman plays the same character.
Yes. Anyways, I give it a 5. I'm gonna pass the torch to Cam now, and you can talk.
Did you know, Corey, that the VHS tape can be seen in one of the early scenes of Jordan Peele's Us?
Ooh, I didn't
know. On a shelf.
Cool.
Another stupid little Chud
played.
reference.
I missed
There's too
one.
many Chud references. Chuddly ho ho ho. I'm gonna give this an 8 because it is a B movie. It is supposed to be a horror movie, even though I don't really think it is. But like looking at that category of movies, this is like one of the best. I don't know what I gave Chopping Mall. I can't remember. That's really the only other one I could like put on this tier. It's a great movie, and the fact that the budget was that low and they got this good of like an acting crew, and like Trent said, like pretty well written film, is kind of crazy. I think it made like no money, but it became like an icon.
It made it grossed more than it cost to make. So that's
sure. Okay. Well, bravo. That's more than movies today can say.
It was budgeted for $1.2 million, and it grossed opening weekend. It even surpassed that it was 1.7.
Dang.
But overall, it looks like it made about $4 million gross.
Oh wow, that's a really good turnaround. Yeah, there we go.
Back in 1984.
Yeah, I thought that it was like just a flash in the pan, but
I mean, it looks like it did pretty well. So I'm gonna start calling people Chuds. I think that's just gonna be my new thing.
We've been calling you a chud this entire time.
Behind my back, just like
we just didn't do it to your back. I have you in my phone as Chud.
As Chud.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna start saying, "Wouldn't it be nice to chug a chugger?"
Oh man, that sounds pretty good right now, huh?
I'm a big chugger lover.
You're a big chugger lover. Well, that was Chud. You know, if for those who are watching this, if you've never seen this, we all recommend it. We all gave this respectable scores. Anything above a 5, to me, is respectable. So
I will say it's better past 8 p.m. if you know what I'm saying, boys.
With that being said, thanks again, everybody, for joining us on another wonderful episode of Do You Remember This Movie?
Or this TV show.
Wouldn't it be nice to chug a chugger? Wouldn't it be nice to chug one day?
New Tropicana Chuggers, 100% pure refreshment. All natural orange or apple or grapefruit juice. Chug one down.